Mail time. Alright, we've got a couple packages in a package, of course. Let's check this one out first. Opening this up, it is... two more of those temperature and humidity sensors that we got in the last video, I think, and we talked about them a little bit. I finally put the batteries in them properly. This one is another temperature and humidity sensor. Actually, this is the same as the ones in the last video. These boxes are much bigger, and there's two of them, more or less, set together like this. Oh, okay, they're just in a bigger box, but they physically look like the exact same sensor. Now, I was only meant to order one of those three sensors, but due to not paying enough attention, I ordered three. Anyway, this is the real reason I've made the order, is I've got this 4K HDMI 2.0 cable that has got a really thin cable. Now, this is really useful for when you're using a camera on a gimbal, and that is basically the whole reason of this order, was for this cable, and the one extra sensor was so that I got free shipping, and then me just not noticing there was another two sensors on top of that. So I think I might put one of those sensors outside so that I've got my own outdoor temperature sensor. Since all these sensors seem to agree what the temperature is, it's time to put one of them outside. Leaving in the garage, walk over to the front door. There's the camera. Hello. Check my notification. Oh look, it's me. Then with like a 15-second delay. Oh look, it's me. Strung out across a couple of days, I began preparations for a small idea that was slowly growing in my mind. I needed to test out a few things on a little circuit I had spare and laying around from a previous project, and this would be the building grounds, just to quickly test out a couple of theories, a couple of ideas, and ensure some things were going to work. With some preliminary tests done, I decided to use my workspace to fix a microphone that I had purchased quite a while ago. It's supposed to be really good quality. Initially, I try remove the little ring thing that is in the way, but then I just decide to cut the end off and solder a new end on it. Let's assume that it's going to work fine. That said, I do have some headphones on so that I can hear in real time what's actually going on with this. Check, check, 1, 2. Hello? Hey! Doody 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 doo. Okay, well, it sounds like this microphone is now actually able to be used. And this microphone is going to replace the, I think it was like $1.50. This is my other lav mic that I've been using. It was $1.50 off of, I think, AliExpress, whereas this actually came from a store. I can't even remember when or where I actually got it from, but I mean, I'm not really hearing much noise from the cable as I move it around, whereas this microphone picked up everything and anything. This microphone that I've got now is far superior. Like, even just hearing it here and now like this, I can instantly tell that this microphone quality is way higher than that cruddy little microphone there. The only issue I do have with this microphone is it's going to have to be a tape job. This will be a microphone that will be taped in place when being used because it doesn't have a little clippy thing. Found one. Let's see what's in here first. Oh. Starting off with the biggest thing in here. It is a wrist brace. Wrist brace. Here's a little part for your thumb. It goes on your wrist. It's simply because my wrists are pretty well shot from injuries in the past. So I got a wrist brace. So these are specifically for cleaning the sensor on your camera. That's that part in there that's actually capturing the light and turning it into data, I guess. Got to keep it clean, and these are all one-time use, one-way use. You put it on the sensor, you slide it across, that's it, done. This is done. Throw it in the bin. You can't sweep it or anything. It's a single thing. So it came in a pack of 10? 10. Here's a little hole punchy thing. So you push it down and it clicks so that you can mark a hole on some metal that you want to drill or something. Let's try it on this. It's made a pretty good little indent there. Let's do one more. There we go. Got a second little indent in there. It's a USB Wi-Fi dongle for my Sony FS7. It simply just plugs in over here, and now the camera has Wi-Fi, and I should be able to connect to it via a Wi-Fi based control app for it. And now I can remote control my camera from my phone simply through this little web interface that it provides. Admittedly, this dongle sticking out like that is not a fan, but this little web interface can be either a phone, a laptop, a computer, anything with a browser, and it gives me information such as the camera battery, how much space is left on each of the XD cards, as well as some basic volume meters that are sticking up. It's a super basic thing to have, but it can be super helpful, and I'm sure there are people on the internet that have found ways to utilize this really well. And now on to the promised project that I'd hinted on at the beginning of the video. So initially I was just testing out some components to make sure that I wasn't going to waste anything during this project. So here I'm actually able to put on some relays onto this perf board, that's the prefabrication board, where I can continue making up the circuits for the relays and transistors to trigger said relays. Now these relays are going to be running at 12 volts, where everything else in the circuit will be running at the standard 5 volts. They all share a common ground, which enables the microcontroller to be able to control and talk to everything. Here I'm adding 4 more MOSFETs. Now this is so that I'm able to control some LED strips and have them brighten and dim as needed. I also have a little box of wires on spools to make it a little easier to pull out the necessary cables. As you can see, I've used 3 blue wires for the 3 blue relays, and 4 green wires for the 4 MOSFETs. You'll see I'm really working the solder there, and that's me basically just building up the rest of the circuit so that everything is actually connected together.
Here I'm preparing the 12 volt line. That's the yellow cable which will be supplying the 12 volts to the relays, as well as the 12 volts to the step down circuit which will be providing 5 volts for the controller, as well as anything else that's going to require the 5 volts, such as a wireless controller which will be coming in a little later. Here I'm prepping the main controller. It's an ESP32S and it came pre-soldered with all those pins sticking out the bottom. So I decided I would remove each individual pin, which felt quite tedious at the time, but I am quite glad that I went through with the procedure in order to clean things up a little bit and also help make sure the circuits are safe. You'll see it also connects to that 12 volt to 5 volt step down circuit using a red wire to indicate that it is running at 5 volts, as well as then connecting to that wireless circuit that I alluded to before, which is just a simple RF 433 MHz single channel relay receiver, where I've tapped into the 5 volt line of that circuit as well as removed the relay so that it can directly communicate with the ESP32, eliminating some extra bits of the circuit. Due to my video making process being rather slow, as well as this little project also being rather slow, I'm going to put an end to the video here, just as I have completed this much. I haven't connected it to power yet to test if this even works. I don't know if it will work or if it does work. Hopefully it does. I really hope that this works perfectly fine. There shouldn't be anything wrong with it. This is a type of circuit and stuff that I'm quite confident with, so I doubt there's any problems with this. I did make a few little notes as to which pins on the board I was specifically going to use, as well as having a list here of what pins do what, because I do seem to regularly forget it. I also have a little note down here for the specific board, which indicates the capabilities of each of the pins, so that I can make sure that I'm not accidentally connecting to a pin which has a double function, which could get it stuck in a looping boot for some odd reason. So that's the circuit set up, and in the next video we're going to connect it to power, and we're going to start testing the 3 relays and these 4 MOSFETs to power a 12 volt probably white LED, just to make sure that everything is actually working. I'll let them flash and stuff in a sequence, as well as making sure that pushing this button is able to trigger a sequence. That's the end of the video.